The NFL has a new superstar.
Another day, another movie produced by me.
George is probably the most physically gifted receiver I've played with in the league.
But a couple years ago, they called him the NFL's villain.
Talking trash to some of the fans.
So was he really a villain or just misunderstood? To find out, we gotta go back to Hoover, Alabama, when George Pickens was unstoppable.
And it's a touchdown. Pickens.
Wow.
Pickens.
Every school wanted him, literally.
Schools that are other interests were like Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Tennessee, LSU. So I'm committed to Auburn.
Auburn also landed 5-star quarterback Bo Nix, and the two had instant chemistry. But on signing day, George Pickens shocked college football.
George Pickens had what? This is official. This is real. George Pickens has flipped to Georgia.
It's probably one of the hardest decisions I'd ever make in my life. It was very hard knowing that through this whole football thing, playing my whole senior year, I've been playing with Bo Nix the whole time, basically. Just coaching-wise, knowing that Kirby Smart, he's always going to be up for like a national championship.
Auburn felt backstabbed and the hate was loud. But Pickens blocked the noise. He wanted to shine at Georgia, and it didn't take long.
Looking to go deep downfield. Launching grab by George Pickens. Back to the air again. Touchdown, George Pickens.
This kid is prepping. He may not be here long.
He started on fire. Against Missouri, he walked away with 2 incredible touchdowns.
Back for Pickens. Did he come up with that? He did. Touchdown, Georgia.
But against Auburn, he just had 1 catch for 11 yards, and 2 weeks later, Pickens was in trouble. Rivalry game, Georgia versus Georgia Tech. Emotions run high in those games, and GP lost control.
This is why it's selfish, okay? Watch the right hand for Pickens come in. Hey, that's not good. And here's the thing. I get it. Emotions run high. Guess what? Bryce Williams doesn't have a game next week. George Pickens does.
Pickens was suspended for half a game, which meant Georgia played in the SEC championship against LSU without their #1 receiver.
We're going to help George, and we're going to help him grow up.
LSU dominated in a 37-10 win. Pickens had a touchdown in the second half, but it wasn't enough. He felt like he let his team down. So in the Sugar Bowl, he wanted to make it right. Not for himself, but for them.
He throws for Pickens, he runs under it, catches it, and a touchdown for Georgia.
He had 175 yards and won Bowl MVP.
My offensive line is amazing. My quarterback is amazing. I love this team, the defense. If you put the camera on all these guys, I love them to death.
Pickens ended the year with 49 catches, 727 receiving yards, and 8 touchdowns, leading the Bulldogs in all 3 categories, and PFF named him the best true freshman in the country. But the next year, he went even crazier. Back-to-back touchdowns against Arkansas and Auburn. However, the following week, Pickens made another mistake that would cost his team. In an SEC matchup against Tennessee, the quarterback scrambled out of bounds and Pickens squirted water at him, resulting in a flag.
What are we? 7, 8 years old? Come on.
It was a complicated year for GP. A mid-season injury kept him sidelined, and the schedule was cut short because of COVID. But once again, he finished the season strong.
George Pickens has the most talent of any receiver on this Georgia team.
Pickens again, are you kidding me? The kind of day he's had, his catches have not been easy.
He went over 100 yards in back-to-back games. At this point, Pickens is considered one of the best receivers in the country, and the expectations for his junior year were sky high. But in training camp, it all fell apart.
For those of you who don't know, we just found out that George Pickens apparently has torn his ACL. He's got to have ACL surgery. Non-contact injury in the middle of practice.
I just wanted to come back really for my team, to be honest to you, bro. Just to win a natty and play with them again. I wasn't even really thinking about the draft. I was going to do whatever I had to do.
In just 8 months after the ACL tear, GP was back on the field. Perfect timing, because the Bulldogs are playing on college football's biggest stage, the national championship.
Collision of SEC rivals, Alabama and Georgia.
And when his team needed him the most, he showed up.
Here's a downfield shot. George Pickens
Pickens, a diving catch, as the elite receiver has waited a long time to make a play like that in the big game.
That play set up a touchdown, and Georgia did it. They won the national championship, the exact reason why Pickens went to Georgia. But once the celebrations ended, he was at a crossroads. His junior season barely had any tape, and coming back could raise his draft stock significantly. But GP made his choice.
Man, if I was to come back, it's also a lot of risk of the same.
get hurt
you
again.
see the same thing. I just wanted to make the smartest decision and the most business decision.
His draft stock was all over the place. Some scouts loved this energy, while others questioned it.
He's got to give a damn every other play that he doesn't get the ball. Point blank, because when I talk to NFL guys, when I say, hey, what do you think of George? They see the same things I do. 85% of the snaps, when he's not getting the ball or he's not targeted, he's not in a route, they might as well be playing 10 on 11.
George blocked the noise and suited up for day one of the NFL draft, but nobody called. He was pissed. 6 receivers went in the first round, and he wasn't one of them.
I was a little salty after I didn't go in the first round. I had a clean suit, man. When that first day went by, I went in my bed and I slept, and I was just telling myself, like, I'm not going to put nothing on the second day.
On day 2, it happened again. 4 more receivers went off the board. And then finally, with pick 52, Mike Tomlin called. And when his draft video went public, he went viral.
Now the pose, that's just me trolling, being funny.
When he called me, I was just like, I'm on the phone shaking for real. Like, yeah, I'm good. I ain't trying to say too much. I'm like trying to get to where I'm ready to get to work. You feel me? I was happy, but I was in like a vendetta mode against, you feel me? Everybody. I'm like, I'm better than everybody, you know. They saying that's better than me.
So in week 3, he came out swinging, making one of the best catches in NFL history.
What a catch with the right hand by George Pickens.
Next up, 100 yards versus the Jets, but the targets dropped. Against the Falcons, Pickens was targeted just twice, and he finished the game with just 1 catch. A clip showed him frustrated, demanding more targets. The media ran with it, saying this was the personality teams were afraid of, but Pickens shut it down immediately. He felt like the media was pushing a false narrative, and that receivers complaining about targets is nothing new. And head coach Mike Tomlin stood up for him.
That competitive spirit, the guy that wants the ball, no, I want that guy. I'm not going to make that a negative, no matter how silly I think the commentary is or people talking about him expressing frustrations and stuff and trying to make it a negative storyline. I laugh at that.
Still, Pickens had a solid rookie year. The Steelers were expecting a second-year leap, especially after Deontay Johnson went down with an injury, making George wide receiver 1. And that week, he took care of his opportunity.
Wide open Pickens. There he goes. Touchdown Steelers.
He went for 127 yards on a career-high 10 targets. Against Baltimore, he had another 130 yards and a touchdown, proving he can be the #1 receiver. However, when Deontay Johnson came back from injury, Pickens' targets dropped. Against Tennessee, he had 2 catches for -1 yards. He was frustrated and posted on his Instagram story, "Free me," and deleted that later. Fans accused him of being a diva, not just because of his mindset, but because of his play too. GP is known for his violent blocking, but against the Colts, he stopped blocking, and his reaction caused a lot of controversy.
I ain't want to get an injury. You know, when you stay on the block too long, you can get ran up on very easily. So
some people are questioning your effort.
all the people that's questioning my effort, down, play football, they do what y'all do.
But like always, he bounced back with action.
There he goes. The explosion. Pickens. Goodbye. Touchdown. 86 yards.
I know I made some comments, before the week that kind of ticked you guys off. I just want to say, I'm just here to win, make the proper adjustments and be a great player, to be honest.
Again, it showed Pickens is one of the most talented receivers in the league. The Steelers made the playoffs and they faced Buffalo on the road, but things didn't go as planned.
And a completion to Pickens. The ball came out as he was on the way down.
During a catch, fans started throwing snowballs at Pickens, even when he was on the sideline. By the end of the game, Pickens wanted a flag, but he didn't get it, and all the frustration came out.
Refs, that's the only thing that's really in my mind. When I win a game, we got to let the refs in. Fuck the rules.
Although the season had ups and downs, he still broke out, putting up 1,190 yards without any stability at the quarterback position. Going into 2024, he looked like the clear wide receiver one, but that year was just wild.
What happened with the Jordan Lewis play? It said something and you responded by pulling him down by his face mask.
Nothing.
In a loss against the Browns, he got into it with Greg Newsome.
Greg Newsome, you think I'll talk to Greg Newsome at all today, before the game, or anything?
I don't even know who that is.
But that's just one side of his story. Because while all of this is going on, George is making incredible plays.
Deep shot. Down for it is Pickens. End zone. George Pickens
Cracks the ball in the air. I can't tell you how difficult that is.
After a 46-yard bomb, he made a questionable celebration, and he got fined $20,000.
I was doing the first down. He said he thought something else.
He got a target on his back because he's George. He understands that. But he's got to grow up. He's got to grow up in a hurry.
It was a weird season. As always, the talent was undeniable, and Pickens was still a key player for the Steelers. But his frustration got the best of him sometimes. And in the final game of the season, it all came to a head. Against the Bengals, it wasn't his night. 1 catch, 3 drops, and he even got into it with fans. He got fined for a face mask, pushing his total fines over $90,000 in the 2024 season. Some Steeler fans shared his frustration, while others were done with him. Heading into 2025, it was a contract year. There were a lot of questions about his future in Pittsburgh, but the Steelers made things even more complicated.
Breaking news into CBS Sports HQ. The Seahawks are trading DK Metcalf to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But DK is signing a new 5-year, $150 million contract.
George Pickens and DK Metcalf, these guys want the ball now.
At that point, it looked like the writing was on the wall. The Steelers started letting teams know George Pickens is available, and some teams laughed at adding him to their locker room, but one pulled the trigger immediately.
We got breaking news like 2 hours ago because the Steelers are sending wide receiver George Pickens to the Cowboys in exchange for draft picks.
Some people got to do the best for their situation, and I feel like from organization and from player, that's exactly what happened.
Your coach even said that you needed to grow up. The headlines were you were immature. How did you perceive all of those negative headlines?
It definitely weighs on you, especially when people who know you in real life know, like, bro, it's not like that. I feel like I've always been happy, like you said, making plays. I want to make plays. So when that type of narrative was coming out, the people on the team that I played with at the Steelers, they knew. Everybody else didn't.
And I would like to correct some people. Some people think that he is a diva or he's cantankerous. I talked to the Steelers folks. George Pickens is demonstrative on the field, but he is not an uncoachable player. In fact, he does have a great way about him in the locker room and is very well liked in Pittsburgh.
Now in Dallas, it was a fresh start. A new locker room, a new energy. The Cowboys already had one of the league's best wideouts in CeeDee Lamb, but he welcomed George with open arms.
GP, I'm glad he's here. He knows I love him the most. I tell him every day I'm happy for him. Hope we go together for X amount of years. I don't care. I just know that we're not going to do this for one.
There was a lot of hype about this duo, and it didn't take long to hit success.
End zone, Pickens! Touchdown, Dallas!
In week 2, GP found the end zone for the first time as a Cowboy, and the next week, he found the end zone again.
Prescott rolling, floating. Pickens one-hander. Touchdown, Cowboys.
But the party didn't last long.
Prescott looking around, rolls. Pickens just dropped it. And it's picked off. Tremaine Edmonds in the right place at the right time.
He felt like he let his team down, the team that had embraced him. And to make things worse, CeeDee went down with an injury. So the next week, Pickens was wide receiver 1, and he wanted to redeem himself.
Pickens, safety coming over.
Pickens looked unstoppable. He had 134 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he was just getting started.
Make sure y'all enjoy the show, baby.
Pickens hand fighting into the end zone.
Against Carolina, George finished with 168 yards. The Cowboys unlocked the side of George we hadn't seen in a while. He was goofing around, the vibes were great, and head coach Schottenheimer love this energy.
GP, everybody wanted to talk about him and his story and his background and all that stuff. That guy has been truly a pleasure to coach. And you talk about that energy and juice he brings to our football team. It is infectious. I would never say receivers are unstoppable, but damn, he's pretty good.
Against the Commanders, his buddy CD came back. At this point, they weren't teammates. They were good friends, and they were just having fun.
Hey, I'm right back on their ass, yo. They done made me mad, I've been keeping calm, constantly keep making cash, yo. I've been getting bag after bag after bag, yo. Presidential shit, I rap my Maybach mad black, yo. Call me Mr. Glock, shooters in the front and back. Yeah, I'm on my Memphis shit, these bitches coming in the pack. Yo, these niggas pussy cash, straight cap, cat and hat. Ball picking up George Pickens.
I need to start getting paid for this. Oh, I forgot I do.
Pickens was good. He's got it! How many great catches is he going to make today?
The NFL's villain became the Cowboys' newest superhero. And this time, he's doing it with a smile.
George, they said since you've got here, you have not stopped smiling.
Yeah, I used to never smile.
Please click that hype button, click that like button, and most importantly, click that subscribe button. It really helps to grow this channel so I can make these better and upload more often. I'm working really hard to bring you more of these stories. See y'all at the next one. Have a blessed day.